Alright, fam, how we doing? We're rated 635. And we're going to start at 15 plus 10. And I've just woken up. It is... whoops. The cage may be open, but the beast is asleep. Okay. We've got Apollon 07, which is Apollo, isn't it, I think? From Uzbekistan. Okay, and we've got the Scandinavian defense. So what I play against this is d4, taking us into the Black Mar Gambit. Now, the traditional play of this is d4, d5, then e4. But I think it's very convenient as a response to the Scandi. Hello. Good morning, everybody. This is the microphone. Okay, as a response to the Scandinavian, because it won't be that common, okay? And then this is the Black Mar Dima Gambit with 3 knights e3. Putting pressure on the pawn, which is currently undefended. Now, the most natural way to defend is to develop the king side with knight to f6. At which point we have options. The traditional line continues with f3, takes, knight takes. So black's pawn has gone 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, and then 3 capturing here. We capture back. We've still only given up 1 pawn because we regain this one. But in return, we've got 2 knights in the center. But I'm going to play the von Poppeel with bishop to g5. So a bit like the Spanish that we're threatening to take this knight. Okay, now this is quite common, and I'm somewhat flying solo now. I think bishop c4 looks very good. f3 at all times is pretty good. See, what black has done here is he's blocked in the queen and the light squared bishop. So he's already really starting to choke for lack of space. So he wants to get this bishop out, doesn't he? So he might try and fianchetto, or he might play this. That would then pin the knight. I think f3, because I think actually getting this horsey into the game is quite important. But having said that, I haven't had a drop of coffee yet. So let's see. Apollon, not Apollon. Apollon would be Greek, right? Apollon 07. I don't know, so it's maybe teenager. And oh, sweet music. That's a obscure film reference. One of my favourite films. As another clue, if you're a real late 80s, I want to say, film buff, make sure you're speaking to the microphone. Okay, there you go. Same film, 2 quotes. Alright, so what's he going to do? You take here, then again, you've used 3 of your first 5 moves, all with that pawn. Okay, then I develop, and I've got 1, 2, 3 pieces developed into the board, right? For the cost of 1 pawn. And I have a pawn in the center. What does black have? Kind of awkwardly placed knights, particularly this guy, right? And all his pawnage is still at home. That's the point. And his pieces are stuck behind the pawn, so kind of defeats the object. Right, well, my inclination here, I can take the pawn back. And if he takes, I can take. That looks absolutely fine. I might let him take here, right? Because then I get free development again. It hasn't cost me a pawn. It's cost me a c for a d, you know. But this is all about, what are we doing here? We are all about rapid development and then just squash our opponent. This is not going to come down to an endgame of pawns. So another idea then is bishop b5. That pins this knight. So if we take here, he's forced then to take the pawn. So bishop b5, and he puts the question, right? Now I can't come back here because I get Noah's Arked. Because he ends up with pawns like this. Does that make sense? Yeah? Bishop here kicks, I retreat, b5, bishop b3, c4. Not good. my love. Not good at all. But the other option I have is actually take the pawn. It can only be recaptured with that horse. And then boom. So I think I like that idea. I think I like opening up this. Oh, I've even got queen takes queen. He loses castling rights. I then have the option to long castle him into check. Which is pretty darn sexy. We also have a lot of stuff going on here. We've got tension between the pawns. I'm attacking this. It can be recaptured by a pawn. That's defending that, and that's defending that, and that's attacking that. Okay. So, let's say I take here, a pawn takes back. Then I can win this pawn outright, thereby re-establishing material equality. But I can also throw in the long castle's check at any time, which he may block with the bishop, but he may also block with the knight. But my suggestion is that on a board like this, I think my bishop is potentially better than that knight. So do I want to give that up and end up with an isolated pawn? I don't know. I'm going to castle. I think I want to get my other... So that's a check. I know what it is. Okay. But now I have this, right? Now bishop blocks. I don't really want to trade bishops, do I? I don't really want to go trading material when I'm on the front foot. Takes... Knight in here looks nice. Yeah, I think it's time. I think there's sufficient compo with this. I think here, how does he defend this, right? He's got knight a6 or knight e6. Both of those give up this pawn. I could just win the pawn. I could even go in here then, couldn't I? I wonder if we can combine these ideas. This is an immediate threat. So how does he counter that? He can play bishop there. My knight's on here, then my rook can't take the bishop. My knight's on there, and then I do this. He's still got that. So I'm inviting him to develop his bishop free of charge. Having said that, if my knight should move, his bishop is on d6, which is unprotected. So can my knight move from here? Is there any interesting ideas? Not really. I could just push on here. But if he takes, still, that does me a huge favour, so... I'm going to do this. I'm probably expecting this. I might just drop the bishop back to c4. But I want to get this rook into... I want to get this rook onto e1, yes? And I can't wait all day for him to capture on f3. There we go. Now if I take here, he has to take with the knight. If I take here, knight takes. He can't take with the knight, because I win this, right? So if I take here, maybe he trades first, but then he's walking into a fork. Okay, I'm going to do this, because I think, apart from anything else, the idea of waiting for him to capture and give me a free knight development is, I think the ship has sailed on that one. Okay, he takes. So I recapture and I'm threatening, and he's moved like lightning, the boy. So if you have many options, I'm still a pawn down. I have this, which just wins the rook. And the king can't go to either of these two squares, so I think I can escape. And I think that's all the thinking we need to do, boys and girls. If there are any girls who watch my channel, please do leave a comment. Okay, so now I can get to this square, right? Ah, yeah. Buggery. There you go, and that's why I should have developed my fucking knight. Here. Now, but I have this, don't I? That. Huh. And I'm still a pawn down. Right. If I go here, his knight has no escape squares. I think that's the first order of business. I have a nice... Also, notice... Okay. Here he's got this. No, he hasn't. Here, his king can't go there or there. Can I do this and attack this pawn? He can go here. I'll go here. Here, he goes here. I'll come back there with check. He goes back there. We've achieved nothing. I think my goal is to win this knight. But then he moves his bishop. Oh, God, it's frustrating. See, one of the biggest things you can do, one of the biggest things, is just always check over your bloody shoulder. Always check over your bloody shoulder. Bugger it, right. I'm still a pawn down. I've got nothing to show for all of that effort. I can't even go there. However, we are in a situation where it's king, rook, and a bishop against king, rook, and a knight, and some pawns. Now I am a pawn down, however, the pawn in question is kind of compensated for by the fact that we've got some double edge going on there. That's right, I'm going to release this knight. At some point I'll probably want to push my pawns onto light squares, but that's not critical. What's critical here is that my knight can visit all 64 squares on the board, whereas his bishop can't. So I'm attacking this pawn. I don't really want the bishop. So if I take and take... Huh, okay. That wins this one, right? And he can't go there with the fork. Look at me checking over my shoulder for danger. Huh. Who would have thunk it? I think we'll just centralise here. It's defended by the rook. I might have this, which is check and wins another pawn. But this is check. So if you go there, I win the rook, you take back, I win this. Am I a pawn up? I do believe I am. What's more, I'm attacking your bishop, but that's not what's important right here. What's important here is that he blundered. Finally he blunders. Whew. Goodness gracious me. Well, that, boys and girls, was closer than it should have been. Quite simply. But we are 659. So let's do another one. Okay, we've got the white pieces against somebody rated 501, Noodle Manic 12. Okay, and are we going to get our first Scotch gambit? We're going to get a Scotch. What the hell is this? Knight f6 against the Scotch. Is that a thing? If I go there, I'm hitting his knight. He takes here. Queen there. F5 or D5. If I push though, goes. So this pawn does hang, right? I mean, I could here have gone into knight c3 and a 4-knight Scotch, but I don't really know it. Having said that, I don't know whatever this is. So this is like a 3-knight Scotch, I guess, isn't it? So the point is, this is a tempo move, because I'm attacking his knight, so he hasn't got time to take my pawn there. You may be able to hear the dog coming downstairs. You're right, Bentley. He's very old. Apollon was a good sport. You're right, darling. You're right, mate. Noodle Manic is having a jolly good think. Okay, and he's gone all the way home. He's gone wee all the way home. Right. Now, we want to defend this pawn because it's under attack. That's the first order of business, okay? Knight c3 wanders into, not bishop a4. I think much more likely is the bishop stays on its own colour and goes to b4. I have that, I have that, I have that. I also have that, pinning the knight. He might do this. I may bring out my bishop and prepare to castle. So he didn't get a Scotch gambit anyway. Which is a shame. He's supposed to take the pawn. Everything else is actually not better for black. So the normal way to get into a 4-knight Scotch, I think, is to go into 4 knights and then play d4. Okay, I'm going to retreat and invite him to double kick me. If he does, I come here, and then I'm targeting this pawn 2 times. So he really has to defend with the pawn, because I'm attacking it with 2 pieces, right? So he can't defend it with 1 piece. And these are the lowest value pieces. Okay. And now I'm going to defend my bishop and attack his rook. And I think what we're going to see is the cost of these cheap-ass pawn moves. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop my bishop back here and actually invite him to capture. I know it's a splendid bishop. If he doesn't, I've even got queen e2. Oh. Okay, so this is the very common idea. We get this in Russo, for example. So in the Russo's black, you've pushed your pawn. When they take here, you push this pawn and attack this knight. Not that pawn. This pawn and attack this knight. And if he tries to block by pinning the pawn, you counter block with the queenie. Okay. I'm eyeing up this, but where that doesn't work, 'cause bishop captures. I think I'm just going to do this, you know. Again, we are prioritizing. Maybe we should make this just like a Gambit's speed run. So we are prioritizing development here. Now that hits the bishop. Takes, my queen defends c2 from the bishop. It's all about the pressure, right? If I do this, what's he got? I think we're okay. He takes that, we could even trade queens, but... Oh! He takes there, I might take with the king. He takes there, I take there, he has to recapture, I win the knight. What was that? Okay, so he's defending his bishop with his queen. Uh-huh. I'm looking at this. I mean, obviously the first thing I thought about is queen is knight takes bishop, queen takes knight. But now I'm eyeing up this idea. Because that's a double threat, right? We've got the old king rook fork, but it also comes with a hit on her match. Here, and how does she defend? She goes back to that square. That's it. That's all you got. Then I capture here. Forking queen and rook. Queen takes bishop. I take there. I win a rook. Oh, I win this. Oh, come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Right, queen has to go back there, I think. If he wants to stop knight takes c7 check, queen has to go back there, yes? And we've obviously got it. Takes the knight, doesn't achieve anything. I can still go in there with check. So here's what I'm thinking. Queen back here. Oh, that just loses the queen. That is a family fork. King, queen, and rook all hit by a knight. Unlucky. You resign now. I've got 2 attackers on there. It's got 1 defender. I'm up a whole queen. Boom. Okay, and 1 for the road. Where were we? 670. Galork, 73 from Mexico. Does he want to play chess today? Yes. Alright, we have knight f3. And if we have this, this, I'm going to show you this, which is a lot of fun. Dubious up to above 1800 Lichess. But can get you some jolly quick wins below that. So all through beginner breakthrough level. Come on, take it. Take it. Nope. Now I'm just threatening to win this pawn outright. So again, black has refused to take the Scotch pawn. You can also take it with a knight, which is a lot rarer. But at master level, it's always pawn takes pawn. And against the Scotch I play pawn takes pawn, knight takes queen h4. The Steinitz, which works pretty well at this level. Okay, bishop retreats. Now, do we win the pawn? Or do I just kick the knight away and then win the pawn? Then develop and castle. Right? That's a rotten bishop. It's going to find its way to b6 at some point if it gets the chance. This is a deflection, right? So I'm forcing the knight away from the defense of this pawn. Yeah, I could have just won the pawn. This is, I think, slightly preferable, because now the knight has to go there or there. Yeah, because that square's covered, that square's covered, that square's covered. That square's covered by my pawn, and that square's covered by my pawn. So he's got a choice of 1, 2 places to go, and the queen's dead. So try and get into the habit of... Oh. Well now. Would you know it? I missed something. This pawn is pinned. Therefore it wasn't guarding that square. So if I take, queen takes pawn. Happy days. Got 2 pawns in the middle. And whenever this bishop is from home, especially when it's come back off its natural diagonal and can't go home, you've got to be careful about this. Now he's got queen here, we just trade queens, yes? Or maybe not. We might have this. No, we don't have that because he takes my queen. Oh! I'm up 2 pawns. And what's more, I have this nice centre. Oh, what? Well, that won't do. But it is plus 3.6. Come on, let's do it again. Let's see what else we get. 751. Okay, e4, e5. Knight f3, knight c6. Spanish, Italian, Ponziani, Scotch. What's it going to be? Italian! Of course I'm playing the Russo. We need more coffee. Okay, centre pawn fork trick. Free pawn. d5. Very common pattern, not only in this, I've had it in like from the Vienna opening when that knight comes out there as well. Okay, so now we're simply attacking 2 pieces. So the pawn really was poisoned, and he can't go there. Well, he can't go there because of the pawn. He technically can go there. Then I kick his ass, and then where does he go? Goes back there. I might take him. Takes. Boom! You lose a bishop. What you gonna do? Here you lose a knight, and. Like, look at this, right? So you play a surprising move, the Russo Gambit. Deadly. Best move here for white is actually d4. d3 is also pretty good. But, I mean, how natural does that look? Right? Just looks like developing, defending my pawn. My pawn's under attack, I defend it. Boom, boom. Bang. Already in trouble. ZG3 from Australia. Ashley Edward Buenviaje. Buenviaje means nice journey, isn't it? Okay, can I just take here? I think so. Always just watching for this. Okay. Queenie is now hit, and I can't go there with check. Fair enough. I could just drop all the way home. Here I'm in this bishop's way. Here I'm in this bishop's way. That is actually a thought. As is this. Is that stupid? No, I'll just come back here. I'm still preventing this knight from going to either of these 2 squares, yeah? And we've won ourselves a piece, so. It's attacked and defended. Order of business now. Get the remaining minor pieces out, legally. Okay, knight here, bishop here, bishop here. Dark square bishop's got many options. This bishop now probably won't go to here because of these pawns, so I'm thinking that. And I'm also starting to think maybe actually long castles again, because our d file is semi-open. We have no d pawn. We also have an isolated king's pawn, for what it's worth. Push knight takes, doesn't work. Again, the kick. Again, I'm just going to drop back and tempt him to double down. Yeah, if he does this, my bishop has got on a worse diagonal, but his pawns are worse too. In fact, what am I saying? I don't even have to go there. I could go here. Is that any better? Probably. Okay. So I'm thinking there, but it's still just knight takes. I want to develop. I think it's bishop. Pin this knight. Both knights are now pinned. So I'm not winning anything here, right? What I'm doing is I'm being a pain in the arse. How about this? Bishop takes. I attack the pinned knight with a pawn. Right? Knight takes, you lose your queen. So that's not going to happen. Right, so he's now played this and then that on 2 moves. Which ain't ideal. That still doesn't work. Okay, is it just knight out? I think it is, you know. Yeah. If he moves this knight, I can always just trade off. Queen takes, but then this. Bang, because queen has to defend this knight. Okay, now do I just castle? Knight isn't threatening to take because you lose your queen. Queen's not threatening to take because you lose your queen. So I think what he's thinking is actually castles. I think long castles is the reason for that move. But what about this though? What about this? Very common actually in the Russo, this move. The queen ever ends up here. You target the queen, you target c2 with the old fourchette of doom. This doesn't work because you lose your queen. This doesn't work because you get a family fork. That might work. Oh, you bastard. How did I... What? I just undefended my own pawn like a... Okay, queen can't take that. Queen technically can take there. I take here. Oh, knight takes. I'm not sure I approve of that because of rook e8. Have I missed anything? Well, clearly I've missed something. Oh, man. Look at me getting all cocky. There's knight there. Good dear, oh dear, oh dear. Always look over your shoulder, boys and girls. See, queen takes, that just loses a big exchange. Queen for rook, not good. With check. And then I just trade down and simplify. King here. It's probably your best bet though, is like Desperado, grab as much as you can in compensation on the way out. Yeah. I think we take with check. Blocks there, I'll just trade down. Take again with check. Blocks here, we just trade. Blocks here. I'm just going to simplify. Right? I'm up 5 materials. Up 5 materials. You don't almost have to think. Rook here. But what are we talking about? Are we talking about not thinking at chess? This is a thought though. With a fork. Pawn can't take legally because it's in a pin. This hits a pawn. This. Now that's interesting because the king no longer has e1, right? So here, pawns in a pin can't take. King goes here? If I can flush him out into the board, I am happy days. He goes here, he gets forked. King and rook. He goes here, I win a pawn. He might move his knight with a disco on the queen. Fair enough. Got queen c6, targets this pawn, pins this one. That is also a thought. Somebody's not checking over his shoulder. This is check. King moves, he can't go there, he can't go there. He has to go here. I'm threatening to win my knight back, right? So think this through. There, king moves. I get out of the pin. His knight moves with the discovery on my queen. My queen moves and defends my knight. Yeah? Check. Bam, bam, bam. Can't legally go there or there. There's only one move, right? Then I play king g8. The pin is no longer on. Boom, boom. You are back in the game. Okay? Dumminion is right. I'm playing some shocking chess. Okay. So when you see something like that, like, oh no, my knight is now pinned, I'm going to lose my knight, look again. Okay, so he's decided not to play discovery on the queen. I could here, because I'm +3 materials now. Check. Not sure. Okay, let's just start to break up these pawns if we can. I'm +3 materials, which should be plenty. But is that a hold my beer remark? Queen b6, push this pawn. Queen b6 pins this one. Push that. He can't push his way out of trouble. There we go. There's the discovery. Okay, this now attacks the knight, yes. He's got to keep his rooks connected because there's a threat of takes, fork. Well, that works for me. Takes. That's a 3-way fork. King moves. Everything's defended. I think we just... Alright. Let's carry on with this plan then. Oh, not bad. But this is okay, actually. That's absolutely fine. It's still winning. 2 queens for a rook. 2 rooks for a... 2 rooks for a queen. That's what he meant to say. Okay, I have a rook. Now, white is in serious doo-doo because he's got 4 pawn islands. right? So none of his 5 pawns can ever be defended by another pawn. Therefore, logically, the only thing that can defend any of his pawns is his king. And that ain't going to happen. Because my pawns are kind of covering here. Okay, that's 1. Push. Then my king comes over. That's 2. Now this one is covered. Now I think it's just time to bring the king in, yeah? Just bring the king in. My pawns cover these squares, right? Therefore check forces his king back a row, and then I win this pawn. But that gives this one a free ride. So it's not... Ooh, but that wasn't the move. You had to go here or here. Hang on. Take. Here you go here. It's not that simple. He takes here. I can't go there. There he pushes. I come here. That's fine. And he can't save the pawn. There he takes, I take. Yeah, okay. So it's b6. We still have to think. Okay, now that, and I'm basically winning both pawns. Doesn't matter which order, I don't think, either. Okay, here I can burn a move. I've also got Gary and Harry ready to go, who've played no part whatsoever in the proceedings so far. I can even chuck in a check. Okay, we'll win this pawn. He's got moves. Oh, go on, let's do a king and rook mate. Okay, now opposition. What this means is that his king can't go to any of these squares. Therefore, if I go here and take out all these squares, he must retreat, logically. Because he can't go there. All these squares are verboten, okay? Now, I move a knight's move away from the king because I want him to move into opposition and we repeat. Okay, so that's not going to happen. Now he's in opposition. That means he's 2 squares away from me in a straight line. Okay, distant opposition is like 4 squares away. However you want to count it. Okay, now we go there again and same deal. He can't go there because of my king. And he can't go there because of my rook. So he has to go back. I move a knight's move away because I want him to move into opposition. Moves into opposition. He now has to go on the back rank. I go a knight's move away. He's going to head this way because this way is mate. When he moves this way, I stick my rook on the other side of the board. If he comes towards my king, I have to burn a move with my rook or a pawn or something like that. Okay, let's burn a move. He goes here, it's mate. Okay, because my king guards these, and now rook here, and he's out of squares. Checkmate. Okay, cool. Well, that was a load of fun, and we're 702. I got 21 points for that. We are 700. Good game, well played. That was a load of fun. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.